so easy to see what they are doing wrong. But every time you point your finger at them, you're giving your power away. And to be quite frank, most of us could use a more honest and accountable look at our own shit. The part you play in what's not working and the part you could be playing to make it better. That is some shit that's got to change. Welcome to another Catalyst conversation for a relationship revolution, where we challenge the unquestioned assumptions about love, flip the script on what you've been taught, and reveal the truths that no one has told you. And this month, I'm starting a brand new series. And I'm going to be honest, I am challenging myself to say what I want to say even more boldly, even more courageously than I've ever done before. This series is called Shit That's Got to Change. Because let's be real, there are patterns, beliefs, and habits running through our relationships, our culture, and our lives that are completely normal, typical for most people, and that are genuinely, literally poisoning our love, killing our connections, and draining the energy that could be fueling your mission and unlocking more of what's possible. And that shit's got to stop. I say it's time we name them. It's time we stop pretending they're okay. And it's time we start changing them. So today, I am starting with the most basic, most universal, most powerful shift that you can make. And it is the cornerstone of Powerful Love's work, right? The thing that transformed my relationship with Calvin and quickly saved it, really. And that is accountability, my friends. Well, I mean, in Powerful Love's work, accountability is a bit more nuanced than just straight up accountability. But for this conversation, I'm going to keep it simple, okay? Listen, if your relationship feels stuck, if you get frustrated with your partner, if you are waiting for your partner to change or want them to get it or finally meet you where you are, if you've been wanting something different, feeling unfulfilled, or experience even moments of unhappiness or dissatisfaction, this conversation is for you. Which is to say, this conversation is for all of us. And until you take radical accountability for your part in the relationship dance, nothing changes. Listen, if something in this conversation moves you and you want to go deeper and actually create transformation, then you need to be in the Relationship Revolution membership. We're not just talking about these shifts here, we're practicing them. I'm going to share more about that membership opportunity at the end, but I wanted to plant the seeds now, okay? For those of you who are new to me and this work, my name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am an award-winning mentor, speaker, author, and educator on relationships, and I am the co-founder of Powerful Love Relationships. I like to call myself the relationship rebel with a PhD because I am a disruptor at heart. And I truly believe our world needs to do better where relationships are concerned. Nothing, truly nothing affects the quality of our lives more than our ability to lead relationships powerfully and skillfully. Relationship skills are success skills, but no one learns them. So I am on a mission to revolutionize relationships and change the way we learn, live, and lead relationships. The primary work I do in Powerful Loves is simple but radical. Through a combination of education, empowerment, and deeply held support, I help women entrepreneurs create marriages that lift their souls, fill their hearts, and support all of their dreams, even if their spouse isn't doing the work with them. Because the radical truth that no one tells us is this: it only takes one to change a relationship. It takes you, love. Of course, spouses are welcome and encouraged in this life-changing work. And when they do join my partner and soulmate and the other co-founder of Powerful Love, Calvin gets to work with us too. In these catalyst conversations and in everything we do at Powerful Love, the goal isn't just to teach you how to do relationships better. It is to redefine and unlock what is possible and to empower you, fellow visionary, to have the relationship you desire and deserve without waiting on anyone or anything else to be able to get it. You ready? All right, let's get into it. So here's the truth. I'm gonna drink some water. Your partner is not the problem. Let me say that again. Your partner is not the problem, and you have to stop pointing your finger at them. The problem isn't them, okay? The problem is you. Sorry, not sorry. It's a hard truth. It's a hard pill to swallow. You're going to have resistance. You're going to want to fight back. But if you can hear that and stick with me for the rest of this, that recognition will change your freaking life. Okay? So bear with me. The problem is not your partner. The solution is not your partner. The problem and the solution lie within you, my love. The problem is in how you are relating to your partner, to the problem. I did a whole episode on this last week. If you want to watch it, if you haven't, comment, the problem is not the problem. The problem is not the problem. And I will get you the link to that episode. So the problem is how you're showing up in response to whatever it is that you don't like. It's the very fact that you've been trained to point outward. It's the only place that you actually hear. Been there. This is a life practice. Okay? How we're on a pilot. It's easy to say, well, if it would just every time you power, said, look, right? And you cause good. They caused it. They're the cause of the which is you not being happy, being upset, you being uncomfortable, you being hurt. They caused the effect. Cause, effect, problem, result, right? So logically, they're the problem. Conclusive, correct, right? Makes sense. Our brain makes sense, right? Wrong. This is what's really happening. Partner does something. You, in here, tell a story about it. Interpret what just happened. You assign meaning to it. You experience, your brain releases chemicals, that you experience feelings, that you give meaning to those feeling experiences. Your nervous system gets activated in response. And that collective internal experience, the thing that just happened inside of you, is what caused you to not feel good. Partner stimulus, your nervous system has the response. Your nervous system, is the mediating variable, so to speak. Okay? But we don't see that piece because it's happened so friggin' fast. And often we're not even aware of it. But guess what else is happening in this dynamic? The same damn thing for your partner, right? The thing they did, maybe they did it because their nervous system saw you as the problem. You were the cause to their effect, which was the cause of your effect. Where does it start? Where does it end? With each one of you taking accountability, okay? So, or maybe they just did a thing because it was their thing, because they weren't thinking. They didn't connect the dots or whatever. But the way you reacted then resulted in them being defensive. Right now you're in a fight. And the problem is their defensiveness, right? Like now the problem is not just that they, didn't do the dishes when they said they would. Now the problem is that, they didn't do the dishes and then they got defensive about it. Like double problem. And it's like their brain is doing the same thing yours is though, right? They're seeing their defensiveness as the effect of the cause, which was you. So they're pointing the finger at you. Well, I wouldn't be defensive if you hadn't criticized me or come at me the way that you did. Y'all, it's a power struggle and it's not going to get you anywhere. Do you see what's happening underneath? When you can build awareness, consciousness, choice around how you respond in these micro moments. This is how our relationships are built, my friends, in these micro moments. When you can build awareness around this, or even after they happen, because our brains can learn on reflection of what happened and then get better from there, right? We take back so much power in our relationships and we become able to create the kind of relationship that we actually desire, the kind of relationship most people only dream about. Listen, I want to be really clear. Accountability does not mean that you're taking the blame for everything, okay? It doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. There's nuance here, and that's a whole other conversation, okay? But take my word for it. If you're thinking I'm saying that you need to take the blame for everything or you have to be responsible for everything or that, your partner can get away with whatever and it's your fault, you're hearing me wrong. So I just want to be like really super clear. That's not what I'm talking about here. Okay. Here's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about accountability. Accountability in relationships means asking, what's mine? What is mine? What am I responsible for? How am I participating in what's not working? There's always a way. It's never 100% zero. Even if it's 99.1, there's always a way. Even if the only way it is because of how you are telling a story about what's happening and then responding to it. Okay? So you're asking, what is my part? How am I contributing to the problem? How am I contributing to my own internal experience of this issue? Which is, right, that nervous system process, that internal world thing, that internal world is our lived experience. So if you want a lived experience that is less suffering, that is more full of more possibilities, that is more liberated, happier, more fulfilled, you got a lot of power in here to shift that. Okay? Lead the response, right? Asking how you can be part of the solution, showing up differently, making a move in the dance, not waiting for your partner to change or circumstances or things to get better. Get there through your own power, sovereignty, because you have, because you choose to recognize in your own business to do so. And you get it. When you change the whole dynamic, because you are a system, relationship, doing works like clockwork. Change, you're gonna shift the dynamic. And if the word ability turns you off, because there's a lot of people who have some, okay, cool. Call it relational leadership. In fact, you will hear me say that word more often than accountability. Relational leadership. It's an easier pill to swallow, and actually it creates a more clear picture of what accountability and relationship actually looks like in practice, leading your relationship to where you want it to be, rather than being in a passive position waiting for someone else to lead it there. You're leading it. Whatever you want to call it, the truth is simple. If you don't own your part of the problem and the solutions in your relationship, nothing is going to change. Which is also to say, if you don't stop pointing the fingers at your partner and start pointing them here, inward, you're giving away all your power and you're not going to get the relationship that you desire. Listen, when Cal and I were at our lowest point, actually, when we were at any of our shitty points, from like mildly shitty to our lowest, I was stuck in the finger pointing game. And that was really easy for me because I was Dr. Relationships and I could see all the ways that he was doing things wrong. I knew what could be better. I saw the path out of our problems clear as fucking day. And I knew I had the skills to be able to walk there. And I just wanted him to be on board and walk there with me. But what that translated into from my pedestal up here was finger pointing. You're the one who's doing it wrong. You're the one who's not communicating right. You're the one who keeps shutting down and pulling away and not engaging and not doing this and not doing that and not doing this and being bad at that and blah, blah, blah. And if you could just, I even told him one time, I will write you a manual for how to love me. You just have to follow it. If that is not the epitome of finger pointing, I don't know what is. Okay. Guys, that shit was ruining our relationship. And if I had not been given the ultimatum, if you don't know our story, like Cal got to this point where he was like, listen, take it or leave it. I'm giving you what I got. If it's not enough, then fine, don't be with me. But stop asking me for more, because I don't have it to give at that point in his life. It was pretty true. And what that forced me to do was figure out how to like stop asking him to step up, stop asking him for more, stop asking him to change, stop asking him to grow, stop asking him to participate more in the relationship, blah, blah, blah. And start looking at what I could do to change, to make it easier. What I could do to give him more capacity, make it safer for him to come toward me, to want to be around me, to make him desire to actually work on the relationship. Because he felt so blamed, he didn't even want to. He didn't feel good enough. Why put in the effort if nothing he ever does is good enough for doctor relationships? I mean, he loved me, but seriously. So when I did that, when I stepped into accountability, when I changed how I showed up in our relationship, the entire relationship started to transform, and quickly. Because accountability, my friends, is contagious. And it creates safety. When you stop pointing the fingers, you create safety. And safety is a necessary condition for change in our relationships. You want your partner to change? Help them feel safe with you. When you shift, they will feel it. And 9 times out of 10, if you're with someone who's worth it, I'll say 10 times out of 10, if you're with someone who's in this relationship with you, who really wants to have a good relationship with you, 10 times out of 10, they will shift too. Imagine then what becomes possible when both of you are practicing this. 2 people in this relationship who are leading with accountability. 2 people who are showing up without defensiveness. Sorry about that. 2 people who are no longer finger pointing. Just 2 powerful, conscious leaders taking ownership, taking action, and creating the relationship they want together. Sorry, that is my kid, and they're blowing up my phone. I wonder how many times they're going to do it. That was 3. Are they going to get the picture? Stop calling. Or I'm all right. I don't know if this is going to be part of the recording, but here we go. Honey, baby, I'm teaching a class. Can I call you back in a little bit? I'm teaching a class. Can I call you back in a little bit? They don't even have good connection. Oh my God. Okay, well, life. I am on DND, but they have special permission if they call me more than once to get through in case of emergencies. All right, listen. We're imagining. Let's get back into our imagination because this is important. So we're imagining what's possible when both you and your spouse are practicing this accountability, okay? No more defensiveness, no more finger pointing, just 2 powerful, conscious leaders taking ownership, taking action, co-creating this relationship that you both want and doing it together. That, my friends, is how marriages transform and how families heal and how love becomes a source of fuel and creativity and joy. And honestly, I believe that that's kind of self-reflecting relational accountability is how our world is going to come together. I can't think of anything more important than learning how to do this. And it starts with each of us. Now, here's the thing. This cannot just be a concept. It has to be something that we practice. And inside the Relationship Revolution membership, our members are doing just that. We don't just listen to these conversations and learn. Our members are getting activations every week to practice, to put into practice these skills, to have accountability around them and feedback about what's working and what's not. Because it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to live it. And that's where real transformation happens, when we embody it. So for those of you in the Relationship Revolution, I know accountability is not new territory for you, right? It's like I said, it's a foundational piece of Powerful Love's work, but it bears repeating and practicing even more. And this week, we're going to practice it from a new angle. I think you're going to really like this one. So stay tuned for your activation. If you're not in the Relationship Revolution membership yet, but you are done waiting for someone else to change and you're ready to learn how to take accountability from an empowered place so you can lead your love to the next level, then I would love for you to join us inside this membership. It's just $147 a month. It's for you and your partner if they want to join. $147 for both of you. It gives you the tools, it gives you the practice, it gives you the community, the mentorship, and the support, plus the courage to finally create the relationship that you want. You can join us by finding the link in the description of this Catalyst conversation. That said, I hope to see you next time for another Catalyst conversation in this series, Shit That Has Got to Change. Next week, I am going bigger and bolder and tackling the whole patriarchy.